24 players named for the final 2 assignments of the qualifying series. What do you make of the team or the squad as named by Otto Addo?
Yeah, hello. Please come again, Nathan, please.
Yes, I was saying that. What are your thoughts on the 24-man team named by Otto Addo for the final 2 games in the series? One against Central African Republic next Wednesday, and then the ultimate one against Comoros.
Comoros, yes. Okay. Good morning again to your discerning and very distinguished listeners. It's always a joy anytime I'm given the opportunity to share my thoughts on your very renowned and well-established program. I saw the list like almost every Ghanaian did yesterday, and then to be honest with you, I think he's done the very best. I think every single player in this team deserves to be there. And for once, this is the sort of team that we expect from our coach. People earn the rights to be in the team. You don't do favors. Some time past, there were certain call-up where you could clearly look at the list and say, come on, this player ABC don't deserve to be there, but they find themselves there. Because at the end of the day, if you're a manager who virtually denied us from qualifying to the next AFCON, you need to make sure you do your things right. And at least the least you can do to try and change your narrative is to be very honest and sincere with the selection of players into the national team. And I think Otto, John Pencil, and all those guys who are in charge of the team, I think for once they've sat there and they've seen the importance of what is at stake, and they've gone and they've picked players who deserve to be in the team. That is one aspect of the game, or that is one aspect of the responsibility. The true aspect now will be as the players assemble and we begin to prepare and go into this game, you must make sure that it is the 2 games are all must-win games. I've heard most people say all we need is to win one. We don't need to win one. We need to win both, because in going into the World Cup, especially, we will not, for the fact that we will not be participating in the AFCON in December, every single game should be approached with all level of seriousness to make sure that we use every game in preparing for the World Cup proper. Yes, it is very likely that by the time the World Cup come around, some players that we see today, we will not see again in the team going into the main tournament. But that is what football does to its own protagonist. So that happens to be one part of the game. The next part now, after the preparation, that you put the team out there, and then we want to go and compete. What we don't want to see is what we saw against Child. Most people say it's Child. Yes, I know, but I call them Child.
Why?
I'm a be a football me. I'm a liberal. No, when you are playing against your child, surely what you don't want to do is to showcase any childish behavior. Mm-hmm. That childish behavior shown by the Black Stars against Child is something that we will not entertain, something that we will not condone. And I mean, it was made very clear to not only the coach, but to, of course, the entire playing body. And if you look at the group, the fact that we don't tend to do so well when we go away from home, especially you saw the AFCON qualifiers, mm-hmm. especially even the games we have lost in this particular competition, the qualifiers has been games that we've lost at home and away from home.
Yes.
And we saw the draw against Chad, which we all didn't accept. Against Central African Republic, look, Nathan, I cast my mind back to the game we played against them in Kumasi. Mm-hmm. If Otto Addo and his technical team, at the time, he was flanked by his own friend. You remember the one he brought, is it Loma or something like that? Loma, yes, he was flanked by Loma, he was flanked by John Pencil. We saw the way that game went. I believe it is a game that we did not deserve to win. Go back to that game and go and watch it. It ended 4-3. I've always maintained that it is a game we did not deserve to. But at times, too, you don't get what you deserve. And at times, too, you get something that you don't deserve. And I think that was one of the days where we got something that we didn't deserve. Because the penalty awarded to the Black Stars, in my view, was not a penalty. The Central African Republic team scored a perfect goal that was disallowed. They had 2 clear penalties that was never awarded to them. These are the things you want to look back, go back as a manager and play back that game. Yes, they don't stand any chance of qualifying, But they could look at that game and say, look, we find ourselves where we are because of these people. They have the chance of qualifying. Just as they helped mount our chances of qualification, we will do the same to them. And that completely changes the dynamic. If I'm the coach of Central Africa, I'll be looking back at that game and say, this is the game that started our downfall. Who did that? The Black Stars. When we met them at home in Kumasi, away at their background in Kumasi, we were not treated fairly. The officiating was poor. We gave her a better performance for which we deserve better. Let's now go and prove to them that this is not Kumasi. Yes, they may be playing away from their back, from their home, and the game will be played in Morocco. But you don't want to take chances. So immediately, without delay, when that game starts, that, in my view, is the game that qualifies the Black Stars to the World Cup. No lackluster coaching, no coaching full of uncertainty. We need to be very much ready with a proper game plan, going out there ready to execute it from minute number 1 to the very last minute. And at the end of the day, once we step out, from that, most of our players are showing of late, the likes of Joseph Pencil, the likes of course, Antoine Semenyo, Thomas Partey, Mo Kudus and Co. We stamp our authority from the beginning because they know the Central African Republic themselves are aware that player for player, we are the better team. But you need a proper framework designed by the coach to get every player to flourish. And in my view, that is what this thing has been lacking. Yes, we sit at the top of the log. You want to credit the head coach and his team, but we look at the way we've played under this current manager. We look at what is ahead of us. We are not going to America just to go and add up to the numbers. How many teams will be there? 32, 64? How many teams will be in the World Cup in America? We are not just going.
Continue.
We are not. Yeah, we are not just going there to be part of the teams that will just show up there. We go into the World Cup in US, Canada, Mexico to make an impact. I have said, most people have problems with me anytime I make this statement. I do believe that the standard of this team is a team that was one kick away from the semifinals in 2010. If you are a manager and you get the chance to coach, never been deprived of any proper talent. Talent has never been a question when it comes to the Black Stars. If you see that as where this team is capable of getting, a team one kick away from doing something that Morocco did in the last edition, you want to make sure you are honest in your selection. The coaching is top-notch. You are able to do and read your opponent and in-game coaching, micromanaging your players when there's the need to, or in an attempt to not only perform well, but to get the result that goes along with your performances. And that is what we've been lacking with this thing. Most people have said, Coach, so what do you think? Should Addo qualify us to the World Cup? Does he deserve to go? I think he deserves to go. But from what he had shown us, and from what some of us are used to seeing at the Mondial, I don't think he'll be the right man to go and coach our team. So I'm one of those who sanction that after the competition, he should be sacked. I've never run away from that. I'd say maintain that because he hasn't convinced enough. The performances has not been the top-notch performances. And if you look at him, his in-game management, his substitution, they've not been the best. And Nathan, I mean, look, you have followed this thing. You've done football, sports for a while now, considerable length of time. It still remains that our coaching department in the Black Stars is one of the weakest on the continent, let alone at the world stage. You can't compromise on that. But we want to believe that at least for these 2 games, beat Central African Republic on the 8th in Morocco, and let's bring the party home. Let's come and party home at Accra Sports Stadium. Comoros, yes, we need to discipline them. The last 2 games we played against them in major tournament and in this same qualifiers, they've beaten us. No team beats the Black Stars 3 times on the trot, especially the 3rd time surely cannot be here in Ghana. The goal beat Central African Republic, take off any form of pressure and get our team to come to Accra and properly express themselves. That pitch at Accra Sports Stadium needs to be worked on, needs to be, I don't know, all the time, I can't actually a pitch. Anytime you look at the pitch, it looks very bad. The moment the game starts playing, you cannot recognize what people will be putting on video, will be putting on social media. Look at his green. It's not about the green. It's about the texture.
Yeah.
It's about the thickness. It's about the compactness of the pitch. It's been very bad. And I don't know why we keep doing it. If we need to, in fact, that whole stadium need to be demolished completely and rebuilt. That is my sincere opinion, my brother.
That's a question for another day. Chris, so you spoke about the first game, the need to start that game well and get the points on the board. How do you think Addo should handle, I won't say pressure, but one win could get us to the World Cup depending on what happens in other games. So that first game could be the game that takes us to the World Cup. What should be the mindset of the team? How should they prep so that the expectation of qualifying doesn't now weigh heavily on them and then they'll struggle to execute next Wednesday?
Exactly. You see, what we don't want to do is to go and be extravagant. All we need to do is to win. But we can play very well and win 1-0. Mm-hmm. We'll take it. Maybe most people will say, well, we've gotten this, it's not about playing very well. Yes, I will take that. I'm one of those who will take that. We don't need to play very well, we need to win it. But we need to acknowledge that we sit at the summit of the table. We are the apex of the log. Mm-hmm. And we need to recognize that there's so much to lose if we don't get the win. You don't want to put this team under pressure in Accra. So tactically, like I've already spoken about, this Central African Republic team, I know they will be hurting because of what happened in Comoros. You'll be so naive not to go back and look at that game and see how the game went and then try and prepare. So tactically, you present your best foot. You put your best foot forward from the word go. Unless somebody is ruled out by injury or any form of illness, then that is a different ballgame. But even that, you make sure you pick the best players in whoever is absent that you would have used first. And then everybody, every player in that team psychologically should be told that this is the game that qualifies us to the World Cup. Because we know how our team tend to perform under pressure. So Kudus has got a role to play defensively and in attacking sense. Everybody properly coordinated. When we are pressing, we are pressing. When we are creating, we are creating. And when we are creating, nobody should be seeing the ball. Boom, bam, bim, bam, bim, boom. That is out of it. You take a lead. You engage your most influential players, Thomas Partey. The controller is there. When you have somebody who can control game for you, ball, let me bim, bim, bam, bam, boom, boom, and the coach stands there, and because you are leading 1-0, bim, bam, boom, bam, bam, bim. No, you don't do that. Give the ball to your creative players, especially Thomas Partey. He has what it takes. He's shown, he's demonstrated that over the years that you give it to me, I control, I give it to you, I tell you where to go. Don't kahashi, beshi, come on me, kashi be, kehami, kebebe, kehami, midi controller. If control mufiamo, then everything will now be smoothly demonstrated. And you as a coach, you just sit back, acknowledge what has been done, and come in and step in. Look, do it this way next time. Just everybody come, let's go, move. We are a team, we are a one unit. Go, press, do it. See, it must be properly coordinated. I listened to the interview. Kudus have said it. At all costs, we have to qualify. And if that player, he himself is saying at all costs, we need to qualify. When you lose the ball, you remind him, you've just told the whole country, we have to come and go get it back. Come and go get it back. Come on, let's coordinate. I trigger, you press. We move as a block. And then we tend to what? Suppress and suffocate our opponent. They don't have anything to lose. That is how dangerous it is. Okay. That is why you have to have everybody in sync, on the same page, doing the same thing, especially in the defensive sense. So that, because look, if we don't concede, we don't need more than a goal to begin to arrange for our visas and good. The people have reinstated the 3 to 5 years, 3 months to 5 years. So you don't throw that away. I beg you. So please, we are waiting. We are praying for them. We know it's a difficult task, but it is within them. They are capable of doing that. That is why they are where they are. And this is the Black Stars of Ghana. If we put our minds to it, put ourselves into it, there's nothing that we cannot do.
All right, Chris, thank you so much. I had a question, but I'll leave that question until after the game. That question is premised on, let's say, the Black Stars winning and what kind of team we should present on the final day. But I'll keep that in the fridge. God willing, should the Black Stars get themselves a win next week, we'll have this conversation again. Then I'll ask you that question because qualification probably would have been sealed. And then my question will now be situated in the right context. So Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Chris,
okay.
Thank you so much for your time and enjoy the rest of your day.
Pleasure.
All right. That was Christopher Nimley, coach and pundit, sharing his thoughts on next Wednesday's game. And I agree largely with him. Yeah. We need to understand the value of next Wednesday's game and kill that game off very quickly. Get the points, get the win, so that the game in Accra is played without pressure.
Yeah.
There's no pressure. We've already qualified. So now we can play that game in a party atmosphere. Players are relaxed. Even Otto could even attempt changing the squad a little, giving some guys minutes. But all of this is very dependent on next week's game in Morocco against the Central African Republic.
Yes, Nathan. You know, Nathan, I looked at the squad yesterday. Not too much has changed in terms of the goalkeeping department. In fact, nothing has changed.
Okay.
It's still Ziggy, Asari, Anan. And I think that barring any
you have said that these three are the ones who go to the World Cup.
Barring any last-minute setbacks, I think that these three are competent, good enough to be in post for us at the World Cup. Ali Dusedu returns. Gideon Mensah struggled in the game against Chad.
This is
Recovered
FM, the voice
quite a
of
bit in the
sports.
game against Mali. Mohamed Salisu, despite not getting a lot of playing time, when he wore the Black Stars shirt in that game against Chad and Mali, I think he was decent. He had a good game. In the Champions League, we saw how Erling Haaland took him to school. And at the World Cup, should we qualify, that is the level of opposition we'll be meeting. So when you are being bullied by Erling Haaland in matches like in the Champions League, clearly, we know that we have to quickly be looking for options to actually put themselves in the bracket as credible backups for Salisu. Jerome Opoku, we saw him play against Chad, struggled a bit, but he was, I think, one of our best players in that game. You correct me if I'm wrong. Pepra, we are yet to see. I don't know if he's going to play. I don't know if he's going to be on the bench. But is he full Ghanaian?
Yes.
Full Ghanaian?
Yeah, played for Atram de Visa.
Right. So we don't have issues of paperwork.
No. He played for Atram de Visa before leaving.
Caleb Irenchi played in right back last time out. I think any serious coach would know that there's a problem on the right of our defense.
Yeah.
Moving forward, he was decent.
Yeah.
But
I will say that we need to have a conversation about right backs when everything settles.
That's correct.
God willing, should the team qualify then.
Any proper coach will look at that part of the Black Stars defense and say, well, there's an opportunity there for me to exploit because of what we saw him do in the last game. Okay. Jonas Ajete, Ebenezer Anan, Saint-Etienne, Alexander Jiku, on any day when he wears the Black Stars shirt, we know what he brings to the table. And so quite a decent defense is lined up. But my only challenge is with the exclusion of Atakonu. Now, Nathan, when the question of Atakonu came up in the press conference, Otto told us they were waiting for his paperwork.
Yes.
We got an explanation as to why Atakonu was not used. Okay? Now, Atakonu's exclusion from the team today, is he out of the team because of injury? One. Or he's out of the team because his paperwork is still not complete? I saw Atakonu play against Hamburg SV over the weekend.
Okay.
He played 80 minutes. He was substituted in the 80th minute. I think Tom Roth came to take his place. He walked off the pitch, not complaining of any injury. He wasn't stretchered off. He walked off the pitch. I don't know exactly what happened in the case of Atakonu. But if it is because of paperwork, he's been excluded from the squad. Atakonu, who Addo has made us believe will be the panacea to our left back problems. Many have said it's cast in the mode of Patrice Evra, the PSG boy,
Nuno
Mendes, and a bit of, a bit of the Man City boy. We've told all sorts of things about this player.
Yeah.
His versatility, his understanding of the game, his German mentality when it comes to his application of the ball. Nathan, if Atakonu is not in this squad today because of paperwork, the FA must be explaining to us
this is
why we paid per diem,
the voice of sport.
why we paid winning bonus, why we paid for hotel, why we paid for food, for a player to come and dance in camp and go back to base, only for him not to be invited in the next call-up.
True.
If indeed the player did not have his paperwork sorted out. Because Nathan, in the last call-up, the only contribution we saw from Atakonu was to dance for the team during the bonding night. The only thing we saw him do in camp, significantly, was to come and dance. So if the FA invited an ineligible player because his paperwork was not complete, and
Sporty FM.
he came in, could not get a chance to even be in the match day squad because of paperwork issues. If the player is dropped today, you could sense right away that it is possible the player's paperwork is still not complete. So why did the FA do that to us last time? Denying potentially an opportunity for somebody to occupy that spot and possibly even start as left back, as a left back for the team. But we brought in Atakonu. Atakonu did not get to play. Today, Atakonu is not even in the squad, and Atakonu is not injured. Look, you see, Nathan, when we are critical about this FA and how they do some of their things, people think it's witch hunting, or people think we are being too critical. But you cannot do this. Atakonu walked off the pitch when they played against Hamburg, Union Berlin. When he walked off the pitch. We saw him walk off the pitch. Okay, maybe they'll come and tell us Atakonu between Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and today. Maybe glass cut him, or maybe he was walking and he fell down, he slipped, or maybe something happened, he's injured. That is possibly what they'll come and tell us. But we know the doctors are Union Berlin. We'll go and find out. But Nathan, if they brought in a player who was ineligible to play and allow the taxpayer to fund his stay in the Black Stars camp, they have done well. But they should not continue like this. They should not continue like this. Nathan, we bought a business class ticket for the player to come down. Kevin, you get me? We paid for his food, paid for his hotel, paid per diem, paid winning bonus when he was not eligible to play for the Black Stars. And I dare the FA. If they have clearance to use Atakonu, they should publish it. It's as simple as that. If what I'm saying is a lie, or if what I'm saying is not true, if what I'm saying is the wrong perception I have about why he's been dropped from the squad, they should publish his eligibility first. That FIFA has cleared Atakonu to play for the Black Stars. And let's continue. But otherwise, they shouldn't be doing these things with our national team. They shouldn't be doing these things with our national team. Imagine a home-based star given the opportunity in that Black Star squad. Trains with the team, and Alidu Seydou possibly doesn't perform. In fact, he did not perform. No, sorry. Gideon Mensah didn't perform in that game against Chad. Give him the opportunity for us to even see what this home-based star can do. But no, we decided to give the slot to a player who we knew was not cleared by FIFA to come and play. You see, some of these things, you see, the FA shouldn't be doing some of these things. But that said, we'll move on to the squad. Midfield, Elisha Owusu, and Nathan, like you said, I think Otto likes him a lot.
I told you.
Thomas Partey comes in, Sibo comes in, Prince Owusu, good call. Good call. What Salis will come and be doing in that midfield? let us look at Prince Owusu too. For Salis to come to that midfield and be doing what he did, I think Prince Owusu will do better.
What did Salis come in?
Oh, Kevin, you didn't see Salis in our game against Chad. Let's try Prince Owusu.
Okay.
And you see,
But Salis,
I'm an advocate for.
Okay, he played against Chad.
Yes, Nathan. I'm an advocate for giving opportunity to home-based stars to also show us what they can do. Okay? So I'm excited that Prince Owusu is in the team. We gave Benjamin Asari the opportunity. He grabbed it. And I'm expecting Prince Owusu to prove in training that, look, I can play. He should be confident. He should go into that team. He shouldn't go and carry anybody's boot. Oh, senior. See, when they enter the team, I don't know if they get starstruck. Oh, senior, then they're going to be holding the players' boots and things. So, my foul boots, no. Prince Owusu must enter that Blasters camp as a big boy. Anna Kevin, he's a big boy.
Oh, Prince, yeah.
Yeah, he's a big boy. That he should enter the camp with confidence. He shouldn't see party and think that, oh, senior, we're boy jamming. No. If you are good enough to earn a call-up, you are good enough to start. Prove to the coach that indeed you can start. And that's what Benjamin Asari did. That's what Benjamin Asari did.
Now, knowing that boy from Asanteman during his senior high school days in the Ashanti Region Inter-Schools football competition, right, to, Mediama SC. He's one of the players. He doesn't care who you are in that midfield. He just went into the Mediama team and then he's become a mainstay. He hasn't kept long in the team, and you look at his dazzling skills and all that. For players who have that quality of maneuvering their way with skill, a left footer, if you have a left-footed player in central midfield, it tells you the kind of quality that player is. And this is not just someone with, he has flair, he has the skill to pass, he has, that quality. And I think that he'll be one for the taking. Just like Raymond is saying, we've seen time and time again when local players have taken over the Black Stars and then they've performed to the maximum. Anthony Annan did the same.
Yep.
We saw William Terrell. It got to a point, Yahuza, Yusuf Chipsa got 1 or 2 games in there. Whenever the local players decide to play and then they get the opportunity, they excel. Ajman Bedu under 20 slots into the national team. He hadn't had international experience, but you could just clearly see the kind of player he was when he was with the national team. So, some of us are happy, and then we just hope that Prince would go in with that sort of confidence we've seen from him in on the local scene and perform. We trust him today. And I'm sure you've seen glimpses of what he does. If you have such a player, it's good enough that the break and pass boy is not part of the team. That boy doesn't even deserve to be on the standby list, sincerely. Abdul Saleh Samet, yes, bye-bye. He should stay out. Bye-bye for the good.
Yeah. So, and then Nathan, with Kudus Mohammed, we all know what he brings to the party. If the conditions are perfect for him, he'll deliver. Attack, Fatah Isaaku started well for Leicester City this season after injury. Joseph Pencil is in red hot form in the MLS. Bonsuba, he's also there.